Hi, this is a review for the ICO vacuum sealer. If you're like me, you have stuff in the freezer that ends up growing all the ice crystals, getting freezer burned to the point to where you can't use it anymore, and you get tired of throwing food away, or you get tired of not being able to buy the big portions at Costco or wherever you're doing your meat and produce buying, and you want a way to let those things last longer. I've known vacuum sealers have been around for a long time, but I finally figured it was time to bite the bullet and give one a try. And that's what we have here in the ICO vacuum sealer. I like that it didn't take up a lot of counter space. It's where most of them seem to be flat and wide. Don't have a lot of counter space in our kitchen, so I like the fact that this one more stands upright and takes a lot less of the counter space. It's a pretty simple device to use, as I said, which is really good. The controls are fairly simple. If I can show you here, there's just a few buttons on the top, and basically you can choose between a couple different modes, which are for wet or dry product. Meaning if you're using, doing something like ground beef or meat, there's moisture in that. You want to use the wet setting, and if it does extract some liquid, there is a little drawer back here where it settles in, so you can remove that. And it has a delicate setting, so if you're doing something that you don't want too badly crushed or anything when it's going through the vacuum process, you use that. Otherwise, you have a button that will just do sealing of a bag. And then basically you have the button which just goes through to do the vacuum and the seal. The cool thing about just the sealing portion of this, so you're not doing the vacuum first, is you can use that on most chip bags, most snack bags. It seems as long as they're wax based, because this uses heat and a little bit of pressure to seal bags, you can reseal existing chip bags. You don't have to put them into a vacuum seal bag in order to do that. We're going to be running some B-roll here while I'm talking to you to show you this in action. It wasn't the best video. Unfortunately, I guess I need some studio lights in the kitchen, but this will give you an idea of the unit while it's operating, showing you it taking the air out of the bag. It's a pretty simple thing, though. What you have on the sides here, basically think of it like a toaster. You put your bag into here, and then you push both sides. If I can get them both on around, we'll just make sure one. You do both sides at once, but you push that down. You'll hear a little bit of a click. Once that's in, the bag is fully in here to where it's not crinkling back up or anything. You press both sides down to lock it. You press the button to do the vacuum seal and then seal, and it pretty much works automatically once you put it in. Push the sides down, press the button, it pretty much works on its own. It includes a small roll, which we haven't used any of a vacuum seal. You'd have to seal both sides of this. It's a long roll, and it comes with a few bags, which, as you'll see in the B-roll, are big enough to fit a couple little steaks into there. So basically, you have the open end, put your product in, then you feed this end into the vacuum sealer, push it up until it stops, press vacuum seal, and you are all set. Another feature which we haven't tested yet, because it does take some other items, there is a little tube here that's included. There's a little port here on the top of the unit. And this will allow you to, there are specialized caps in that you can use for putting them on top of a jar, bottles, that'll pull the air out and vacuum seal that product, that type of a thing as well. Have not tested that out as of yet, but I'm pretty sure that's fairly simple, again, because all you're relying on is the vacuum part of this, and that seems to work quite well. We did test this with a couple different things. Really enjoyed throwing a couple steaks in here with a little bit of a marinade, some salt and pepper. Left them in the vacuum sealed bag a couple of days, and it actually did a real nice job with that. And obviously it'll do a nice job for storing meat in the freezer. While I was doing a little bit of Googling, I found out that in a vacuum sealed package, most beef meat will last 2 to 3 years in the freezer. So that is a nice bit of extension over putting something in. I'd end up putting things into either saran wrap or into aluminum foil, and you get the dreaded freezer burn, and the food just never tastes right. So, hopefully long term, if we have any problems, we'll certainly update the review. But with a well vacuum sealed bag, you'll keep away the freezer burn, and it'll keep the food lasting a lot longer. Overall, again, if there's any issues, if this doesn't last more than a few months, we'll certainly update the review. But as of right now, this is working really well. Nice and easy to vacuum seal your food. Again, you slide the bag in, push the sides down, press one button, and you're pretty much done. And plus, if you just want to use the sealing portion of this, you can seal existing chip bags and stuff like that. Or in the instruction manual, which they do include, which is actually nice and easy. It's nice and large. Somebody who recently lost vision in one of my eyes, it's nice to have a nice, large instruction manual showing you how to use the unit, which again I said is fairly easy to do. And one of the things they recommend in here, if you're having an emergency kit, or if you're going out on a boat or something like that, you can put some of your belongings in one of these bags, seal, not necessarily vacuum, especially if you're putting photos or something like that in, but you can get that into a waterproof bag, sealed, so if it does get wet, it's another way to add some protection to the things around your house that, if you ever have a flood or something, you keep it safe from any kind of water or moisture damage. But overall, you're going to be using this for meat and food and throwing the stuff in the freezer and loving the fact that you could keep a steak. When Costco has a great deal that you can keep those steaks around for a year, 2, or even up to 3 years without them going bad on you. So, after living with this thing for a week or 2 now, really liking it. It's one of those products where you ask yourself, how did I do without this? Because I find, it's nice that the cord sticks out the back here, goes up underneath there, but it's one of those things to where I think I'm going to pretty much live on my kitchen counter plugged in all the time, because pretty much every time you go shopping, you're going to be grabbing this thing to put whatever you purchased into there and portioning it up. It just makes more sense. And you can also get, like I said, it came with a few different bags. I'm assuming this is in all of the packaging here. If you do a review, and it doesn't matter if you give it a review of 1 to 10, you can email your feedback to them. They want to know how you like the product. And right now, at least, there's an offer in here for a free 50 pack of freezer bags. So that's a little bit of an extra added bonus. But it looks like this will work for breeding every type of freezer bag out there. So you don't have to get a certain brand or anything. You can get pretty much any of the vacuum sealed bags, and that should work with this unit. Again, definitely giving this one a recommended rating. Does the job, nice and easy to use, saves counter space. Really dig it. Again, this has been a review of the ICO vacuum sealer. My name is Darren O'Neill. Thanks for watching.